Should Wyandotte County employees be required to live in the county they serve? The county commission will end up deciding if the residency requirement should be loosened.
Tonight, a committee debated the issue, and it brought up strong emotions on both sides. KCTV5's Chandler Watkins was there.
Wyandotte County employees are currently required to live in the county. New hires are given a year to make that move. The unified government is looking to potentially change that. Some of the options on the table: extending the time to relocate into the county to 2 years, or have employees live within a 30-mile radius of the municipal building and either having 1 or 2 years to relocate. Reactions from those who spoke at this meeting were mixed.
I can tell you that the people here, they don't care where we live. They care that we respond quickly when they call for help.
Do not lift the resident. How can we want more families to move into this area when we don't even let require our city employees to live here?
Lifting this requirement would improve morale, expand the hiring pool, and reduce burnout.
I believe deeply that those who serve our community, particularly in public safety and government, should also live in the community they serve.
Across the decades of research, the consensus is clear: residency requirements do far more harm than good.
Following public comment, commissioners decided to move forward the conversation to the full commission with no recommendation, along with a request for additional data.
Tonight was the night for public comment and for us to hear the community. You can continue to email, you can continue to call, but I think at the full commission, I think there is the time for commissioners to hash it out, work together, find that common ground, and let's listen to the data.
The full commission is expected to continue this conversation in its March 5th meeting if the county's HR department is able to present the data by that time. Reporting in Wyandotte County, Chandler Watkins, KCTV 5 News.